The top 5 things you ought to do every time you buy a new gun. Thing number one is that you train with it. You are familiar with where the magazine release is, how to reload it, how to do a basic disassembly and cleaning of it. And if it's your first gun, you definitely want to train with guns in general. And if it's a new gun, just train with this particular gun to be very familiar with it. Number two is you want to do a reliability test with it. It depends on the gun. Some guns, they just claim to work right away, but my personal rule is if it is a gun that has that reputation of you could 9 times out of 9 times typically just take it from the box, load it up, and carry it without a problem. If it has that reputation, I still fire at least 100 shots through it just to make sure that everything's working. Now here's the kicker. Even guns with those very rock solid, like they're good to go reputations, there is something else I'm going to throw at you here. So listen carefully, because this is the thing that people hate having to be told. And that is, if you're going to carry a certain type of defensive ammo, probably 1 to 200 rounds of that particular type of ammo being fired through it. And yes, that's going to be expensive. That's going to be at least over $100, is going to determine that that particular brand of defensive ammo is going to run effectively in your gun. Some guns, they run perfectly fine with ball ammo all day, all night, non-stop, 100,000 rounds. And I'm not kidding when I say 100,000 rounds. But they might jam once out of every 50 times with a certain type of defensive ammo. So keep that in mind. Now, number three is you want to explore carry options. If it's a 500 Smith & Wesson that you got for bear country, that carry option is going to be different than if it's a Smith & Wesson 442 revolver that you got for deep concealment. So you people don't understand. They're like, "Oh, I bought a gun. That was so expensive." Yeah. Well, guess what? The holster is going to be expensive too. So now you're going to have to look into that. What carry option is comfortable for that particular gun? What is that gun's purpose? The animal defense, what is it for? And look into holster options. And also look into trying out these holster options as well. Make sure that you put it on and take a walk around someplace where it's illegal to take a walk around with the gun, just to feel it, get a good feel for it, and make sure that that carry option is something that if you had to, say, bug out and have that gun on you for 5 days straight in that holster everywhere you go, it would be comfortable. Now, number four is that you want to train others either in your home or in your little prepper circle about the new gun you got. Let's say you just bought an AK-47 and your wife, son, and daughter, they know all about the AR-15s, in and out. They know how to nail crap at 200 yards, you name it. They know everything about that AR-15. You've trained them. But then you brought home a new AK-47. Make sure you go over that with them. Guys, the magazine kind of goes on a little like swinging motion when it's loaded in. And here you go, like to rack the bolt carrier back, you pull on this thing. And you just train them how to use that. It's no matter what it is. It could be you just bought a new revolver and they're used to semi-autos. You got to train them how to decock the revolver without making the gun go off, putting the finger in the way like that. All right? So make sure you train others. There should not be a gun that you own that not everybody in your household understands how to unload or operate. I do not recommend that. Now, number 5 are exploring DIY options for this gun. So either modifying it in some way to make it better by yourself, or familiarizing yourself enough with how the gun operates so that, like what I've said to a gun smith once, I said, what is the most likely thing that could happen to fail on this gun? And he said, for this particular gun, yeah, the extractor claw seems to have a problem. So I went out and bought an extractor claw for it. So if years down the road that were to come up, then I could fix it myself. And you learn how to do that. So you just explore DIY options. This could be one day learning how to take the gun apart, part for part. I don't mean just a general disassembly, but being able to say, oh, can you replace the hammer spring on that gun? You're like, yeah, sure, I know how to take it apart and do that. If you get to that level of mechanical familiarization with your gun to where you're not only there, but you could diagnose a problem with it, that is a great place to be. Because some people, if it's a 1911, they know that gun in and out, but if it's like a CZ75 or a Glock, they don't. So you want to get to this level of great proficiency with no matter what the gun is. Take care. Thank you. In closing, I would like to hear about a gun that you personally got. It was a good choice, and you don't regret getting it. Please like and subscribe. That is the right thing to do. Thank you.